Hey guys, we're back with something else I have going on. So I got hit with hail damage on my house a couple of months ago. And I'm finally getting around to replacing the screens. Insurance is going to take care of, help me, with some materials and that kind of thing. These are beat up pretty good on the side, but I'm not going to replace those. So other than that, the screen itself is done. It's good. There's nothing wrong with it. But if you it's kind of hard to see probably, especially the video, it's kind of beat up a little bit. It's kind of tore here and, it kind of looks weird. So the hail kind of did some weird things to it. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to replace the screen in this. Now I went to Lowe's and got some screen material. I did get some spline as well, vinyl spline right here. However, I've already done one screen, but it was fine as far as the spline. I didn't have to replace it, so I just used the old spline. Why not? If I don't have to use, this is like $6 for 25 feet, something like that. And if I don't have to, replace the spline, I won't replace it. No big deal. And then I got a spline tool right here. One has a kind of a sharp edge on it. The other one has a little concave or whatever you want to call that right there. So it goes over the spline, kind of pushes it. So I'm going to show you how I do this, or how I did the last one at least, which worked out fine. Hopefully this one works out fine too. Let's see if I can find first off where the corner is. Right up here, actually. I'm just going to take my little knife right here first and get that spline started out of there. Hopefully get it out of there without hurting it. Shouldn't hurt it. Should just kind of pop out. And then I'm going to pull the spline out. So this is the top of the screen because it has the push little, you want to call it, I don't know, springs. And the bottom has these little tabs right here so you can lift up and pull the screen off the window. All right, so anyways, I'm just pulling the spline out, trying not to damage it. It's in pretty good shape. I'm actually surprised it's not like chewed up or something, as far as with the sun baking itself on it, getting brittle. It's not brittle. So all right, I'm going to try to lay this in kind of the same pattern it was, so I kind of remember how it went. And that way I'll put it back. I put it over there. All right, so here's my new screening material. All right, first off, we're going to get this screen out. So I'll just pull up on it and push up on it and yank it out. Now sometimes it doesn't come out real good. You kind of have to work on it a little bit. It'll tear or like this one's right here. It's kind of leaving some material in there, and I'm gonna come back probably with that knife and try to pull that out. But it's not coming up right. Oh, there, that actually turned out well. And if you want to leave these little tabs in, you can. Just makes it maybe a little bit easier to get the screen out of the window. I honestly did not use those because I went on the outside of the window and just used a screwdriver. And first off, I pushed up on the screen, then popped it up on the side and just pulled it right out. It was so simple. Otherwise, you got to open up the inside of the window to use those tabs. I didn't want to mess with that because first off, I had a desk in front of it, so I didn't do it. All right, old screen. It's I'm sure you can't see it in the video, but it looks really damaged. So we're gonna get rid of that. In the old trash can. Okay, also, let me get the material paper out of here. Let's see if I can find it. Trash can, okay. I shouldn't have thrown this away already. This screen that I am using is MD fiberglass screen, 36 by 84 is what I got. It's the charcoal color. Seems to work fine. I already did one screen, like I said. It worked out fine. It's actually on the window already. It is nighttime, otherwise I would show you that. But I'm not gonna try to show you a screen in the dark. It just wouldn't work too well. All right, when I lay it down, on the last one, hopefully you can see this on the video. Let me make sure the video is still in frame here real quick. Oh, yeah, it is. You can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I just let it overlap like 1.5 inches or so. Made sure I had about the same distance on each side. And what I had done was I had taken the spline, and I know what corner this was, so I'm going to start it with that corner actually. You know what? Hang on. Let me rotate it around that way. Let's start with where it was. Is that the same? Yeah, it is. Okay, so I can do it this way. All right, so we're going to start it this direction. We're going to put it here and roll it out. Go like that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start it on this corner down here. That's where this started because it was top corner. All right, first off, I'm going to take this tool with the pointed, kind of rounded part. This is just how I did the last one. It seemed to work fine. Make sure I'm still good on spacing. You take this and you push it down into that groove, and it actually holds down in the groove. Just make sure the screen doesn't kind of shift around, and it should be fine. You push that in, and so the screen stays down in there, which is pretty cool. All right. Let's make sure. I'm going to start at this corner, actually. Being that there is a really sharp corner, it's kind of molded that way. So I'm going to use now the part that has kind of the concaved area on there, and I'm not sure what that's called, but we're just going to go with that. And now I'm going to push it down. And you do have to be kind of careful. This did not happen on my last one, but I've seen where if you're not super careful, it'll cut the screen, and then you'll have a nice tear in it, and you'll have to redo the whole thing again. Or at least you have to move the screen and get that fixed. All right. I'll show you a little close up here in a little bit as to how I'm doing this. You just kind of have to work it in there. Kind of push it down, and it seats down in there. That turned out just right. All right, I'm just going to go back and make sure it's pushed down in there correctly, all the way down. Okay, it looks like it is. All right, very good. Okay, now I'm going to rotate this around, and I'm going to do the opposite side over here because it's going to stretch it across. If you do it over here, it may try to bunch it up in the corner a little bit. So what I'm going to do is use the other side of that tool again. Just kind of lay that outside of the way. Now I'm going to kind of pull this with my hand just a little bit right here, just so when you push it down, it kind of stretches it just a smidge, and you'll feel it kind of tensioned a little bit right there. You just kind of have to hold it down along the edge, and it puts a little tension on the screen, and it makes it tight. And you can kind of also see how it's doing by just kind of looking at it. Okay. All right, that looks good. Okay, now I could tell that this didn't quite make it to the corner right here, so it shrunk a little bit. So basically I'm just gonna stretch it to the corner, put it where it was, push it down into that where we started it, use the tool again and push it down in there. Trying not to push down on the screen and breaking it. All right, then I'm just gonna hold it and push it along the way. Being that the screen is already down, it makes it work really, really good actually. I like to do that that way, pushing the screen in first into the channel before you try to do this. Otherwise it just, I don't know, I think it just works better. That's my opinion. Other people may do it the other way. Like do it all at once. Push down the spline and let the screen kind of tension itself. I don't know, but that's to each their own. Okay, that ended up being just a little bit longer than I wanted right there. I may cut that and then go on, being that it turned out just a little longer. It looks like it stretched a little. I kind of expected it to do that, and it did. It went a little long. That's okay. We'll fix it. I'm just pushing it down, making sure it's seated and down in there really good. Looks like it is. Okay. Then I'll come back and do this side over here on this side. So that looks good across there. It looks like there's, I don't see any wavering or anything on that. It looks really good. Yeah, looks nice and tight. Okay, now I'm gonna go here, start this, and do this one here. Okay, yeah, and if the corners don't go in right here, you can use like a dull tool or something to push that down in there if you want. That went down actually fairly good. Okay, I'm gonna make sure that it's not going to stretch itself and get longer. So I'm hoping it won't. If it looks like it's going to, I'll start from the other side and keep it hopefully from doing that. Now that's gonna be a little hard over those tabs. It doesn't go down very well across those tabs. Yeah, I gotta push down on that pretty good right there. Okay, that went down. It takes a little muscle to get it in there. So when you push this down, you can actually see it when you're up close here. You can actually see it pulling the screen in. So it makes it like stretch tight. It tightens it. Okay, we're getting a little bit of extra maybe there, so I'm gonna go back over here and start coming back a little bit. See if I can keep that from happening, from stretching out. Okay. I'm gonna actually go down the middle here. All right, over that thing again. Push down, yeah, really hard. Get it down in there. I almost switched in a way those weren't in there. It's so much easier to not have that there. And to me, personally, I really probably should have taken it out. This is my house, so I can do what I want. All right. That went down and in really well. Just make sure it's pushed down in there really good. It looks like it is. All right, we're in good shape. Got one more side. Okay, it didn't end up being a little long, so I'm gonna actually cut it. I have a knife here. Cut it, and I'm gonna cut just that little corner piece off of there. Go. And start this piece going this direction. Now I'm gonna actually pull this a little bit here too, make sure it's nice and stretched. All right. Use the right side of this tool and push it in. Almost doesn't look like it left enough, just barely enough. Oh, that makes it nice and tight. It's actually tight enough, it's above the granite. So that actually turned out really well. Okay. I'm actually going to do something here real quick. Apologize for the movements with the camera, but I'm gonna take it down here to where you guys can see this right here. So the spline is down inside, you know, really well in there. And if it's not, you know, it'll be up just a little bit. You just need to push it back down, but that looks really good. And if you can see across the screen, which you really can't see across the screen, it looks really, really good. So right here, actually, let me see if I can do this. I'm going to put the camera down right there. Yeah, maybe that'll work. All right. Thanks for being patient with me. If anybody decides to watch this. All right, so you can see where I push that down in there. Right to the end. And it stretches just a little bit. I have a little extra at the end. Let's see, you can see right there at the very end. I didn't have very much extra screen. I only had a foot of extra screen left. That's okay, that works. All right, now we have that pushed down pretty good. Let me first off cut this right there. Okay, that's cut. Push that down right there, real good. All right, looks nice. Okay, now we are going to cut the screen. I'll show you how to do that. So let's put the camera right there. So you take the knife, and what you're going to do is put it on an angle and cut like right along there, right there. And, you know, be careful not to cut the spline and that kind of stuff. So I'm going to start at the corner. Actually, I'm going to cut down to the corner. Down there. And I realized that I should have changed my knife. The other side of this knife is dull, however. So that's not going to help me at this point in time. Okay, there, it worked. So then I just take it right here and just be careful not to cut your finger. Just cut like right along that edge. Slice it down, and then when you pull this, if you did it right, it'll come right out. Like so. Now see right there, I didn't cut it quite a bit, and so it's tight. I just need to cut that just a smidge more and pop. There we go. Keep on going. All the way to the corner. Pull, pull, pull. Perfect. It went all the way to the corner. All right, I'll cut that off right there. Extra piece you can toss. All right, as you can see, I had this much extra on this. Quite a bit extra. Oh, I'm getting low on battery. Hopefully I can get this done before my battery dies. All right, that end did not quite go down, so I'm just gonna push it with the other end of the knife. Let's try this, push that down. There we go, now we're in. Okay. And just basically do all of this, just like I'm doing right here, all the way around. And once you cut all that, you're done. Okay, it's not wanting to cut right there. Oh, it's in a channel. Okay. Bark. I have no use for this little piece. It's going in the trash. My kitty cat's wondering what in the world I'm doing. All right, 2 more sides and we are done. So I'm gonna put you back up on the tripod here so you don't have to like watch me do this all the time. There you go. All right, especially down there. You get the idea. Ooh, I scratched my frame just a little bit. Oh, I know why. It's because of right there, it pushed up a little bit and it came up to the top. So you got to be careful, I guess, when you go over those. It's a little higher. And in my case, my knife blade decided to pop out, which caused me to scratch the aluminum. That one was down just a little more, which worked out just fine. And that one little chunk, there we go. One more side. Oh, this screen is looking great. One of the best ones ever done, being that I've only done 2 now. So take it for a grain of salt. I'm not a professional at doing this, but I used to build houses, so I just don't do that now. But it's one of those things you don't forget. Pretty much, I could build a house if I had to right now, even though I hadn't done it in about 25 years. And with that, we are done. That is it. That's all. All right. So, if I can show you with the camera, I'll show you how good it was. I'm going to turn it, raise it up. You see part of my house, whatever. Okay. And I'm going to hold it kind of like this, and you can see that there are no like waveforms in it. It looks perfectly tight, if you can see that. It looks really good. So I'm happy with that. Perfect. And when you put it in with the spline on the inside of the window so you don't see that on the outside, and it looks finished. And that'll work. Actually, I take that back. Spline's on the outside of the window because of how these tabs are. That's how this one was. Now the other window, I don't think it was like that. Okay, well anyways, there you go. Done. All right. Enjoy. I'll possibly show you what they look like in the window, or show you how to install it in the window with this as well. Here, coming up in about now. Oh, one more thing also. Sorry, I don't have my mic on, so it probably sounds different. I was going to let you know that the screen that I bought from Lowe's was, I don't know if you can see this, it was $8.98 right there. That was for the screen. That's 36 by 84 inches. The spline, which I didn't end up using, one of them was, let's see here. Actually, both splines were the same price, $5.98, and that's 0.14 inches. Actually, they charged me the same they were different, by 25 feet, 0.14 by 20. Anyways, we didn't use that. The little spline tool was $4.21. So for less than 15 bucks right here, we changed 2 screens for $15 right there. Saves you a lot of money. I called Ace Hardware today and they wanted $25 to do each screen. That's how much you could save by doing it yourself. All right, it is the next day because I rescreened that at night. I'm gonna put this screen back in now. And so here's how I go about doing it. See the tabs, the little springs are on the top here for this particular window. I don't know if all windows are like that, but maybe so. Some are actually, I think, are on the side. Anyways, I push up on it, force it in on one end right there, and just slide it in. helps if you can push up on the top. And I can't quite push it on the top, but it's going in. I'm almost there. I just can't quite get that pushed. Being I'm not tall enough, it's not helping. Ow. Got it. Done. It is in. Now there is some damage on these windows because of hail. You might be able to see up there. There's a couple of holes up there in that piece of trim. I got to get those fixed. And then the hail also kind of messed up my trim. Got to fix that. Well, there you go. That's how you do it. Would have helped if I would have had a little screwdriver. Yeah, or a little ladder to push up on that too. One thing that I do notice is that if you can see the bottom of this particular window, when they installed it, it's bowed. So that's why I had a hard time pushing that in. So what that's going to do is that's going to bow the screen just a little bit because this is bowed now. Can't do anything about it. Yeah, poor workmanship when they put the window in. Oh well, that's life. That's it, guys.